Some video games don't stay dead. They might simmer, but they haunt, they leave a footprint so deep, even silence feels like anticipation. Well, Midnight Club is one of those games. For fans of high-octane street racing and arcade speed, Midnight Club wasn't just a franchise, it was a statement. A collision of these gritty, free-roaming cities, ridiculous customizations, races, and heart-pounding momentums that made you feel like you were inside the chase, not on a track. Then suddenly it stopped. There were rumors, prototype, internal pitches, even whispers of Midnight Club reviving in some form. But for more than a decade, nothing substantial materialized. Now, though, all that might be changing, because recent reports and industry chatter suggest that Midnight Club 5 is in development, and unlike past teases that fizzle into silence, this time the momentum feels different. It feels real, it feels intentional, and if this is true, we're not just talking about another racing game, we're talking about the full-blown franchise revival that could reshape how arcade racers compete with simulation titles in the modern era. Before we get into the rumors and speculations, let's ground ourselves in why Midnight Club matters, for those of you who don't know. The series began in 2000 with Midnight Club, street racing, but it wasn't until Midnight Club 2 and Midnight Club 3 that the franchise made its mark. There weren't your average racing sims, of course, there were some chaotic free-roam machines. No fixed tracks, entire cities and playgrounds. Cop chases that feel thrilling, not scripted. A focus on illegal racing culture without glamorizing it. Custom cars that felt personal. Most racing franchises measured progress in fractions of seconds. Midnight Club measured progress in moments, where you clipped a tight alley, bounced off a taxi, and drifted sideways into a shortcut you barely saw. Those moments were unforgettable. Then came Midnight Club Los Angeles in 2008, arguably the high watermark. It gave us a fully realized metropolis to shred through, and day and night cycles, an unmatched scene of mobile chaos. But after that, it was silence. No Midnight Club 5, no sequels, no updates, just fragmented nostalgia and the occasional rumor. And that was until now, the rumors that refused to die. So let's talk about what's actually out there. Unlike past years where whispers died the moment they surfaced, the Midnight Club 5 rumors have been persistent, in fact, tangled with credible industry patterns, higher-end activity, and internal logic from the publisher side. In fact, here's a gist of what's, floated around inside insider circles. There have been reports, not just random job listings, but specific calls for open-world racing experts, AI traffic engineers, large-scale environments artists linked to Rockstar or Rockstar adjacent teams. That suggests serious investment in non-combat vehicular systems. Rockstar's proprietary engine has evolved dramatically over the last decade. The same engine behind Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5. This tech can stimulate dense city environments with dynamic traffic, realistic physics, and weather systems, exactly what a modern Midnight Club would need. Arcade races like Forza Horizon have dominated the open-world racing space for years, but there's a renewed appetite for street culture, centric racing, something Midnight Club wants to find. And here's the kicker. Rumors suggest the project is not just a racing game in concept, it's being designed as a full AAA open-world experience, possibly even multiplayer-centric, with persistent cities, dynamic events, and social racing layers. That's huge if true. Arcade racing has evolved, but the pure, gritty underground racer is not. Games like Forza Horizon are gorgeous and massive, but they're festival-centric. They're about fun, spectacle, open maps filled with activities. But they don't scratch the same itches racing through off-grid alleys, ducking cops and discovering shortcuts that feel illegal. Meanwhile, simulation titles dominate serious racing, leaving a gap in the market for fast, illegal, adrenaline-driven street experiences. That gap is sort of exactly where Midnight Club used to live. If Midnight Club 5 arrives now, it doesn't just tap nostalgia, it fills a void. Because modern players want free roaming cities that matter, dynamic weather and traffic that influences gameplay, multiplayer systems that expand engagement, custom cars that feel personal, not locked behind progression walls, and the technology exists now to do all of that just beautifully. Imagine races where police chases are unpredictable, not scripted. Environmental hazards evolve in real time. Weather changes the grip and races dynamically. Events spawn organically based on player behavior. That's a modern Midnight Club reboot that feels alive. Here's where story speculation sorta gets fun. Midnight Club was never about character arcs, it was about culture. It was about identity, rebellion, and the thrill of the chase. So if Midnight Club 5 sticks to its DNA, it doesn't need hard mechanic or builds insane hybrid machines. Some ex-cop turned racer who knows the city's every single shortcut, or a newcomer with something to prove. Every race is not just a win-lose scoreboard, it's reputation, territory control, status. And if the sequel embraces crew warfare, dynamic control in neighborhoods via racing dominance, it sort of elevates the experience beyond checkpoints and leaderboards. Now that feels like next-gen Midnight Club, multiplayer, persistent cities, and modern technology. For all fans, one of the biggest complaints about the series ending was that the world felt static compared to what modern consoles could do. Not anymore. Modern engines, especially Rockstar's, can simulate persistent city ecosystems, traffic influenced by time of the day, player interactions visible in world states, weather that alters navigation and grip, real-time police AI reacting to player notoriety. Imagine jumping into a server where your past races influences how NPCs behave now. Traffic patterns shift based on race outcomes. That is not just a game, that's a living street racing universe. And rumor threads backed by talent hiring patterns suggest studios are experimenting with, online race ecosystems that don't rely on scripted events. Players could create their own race paths, challenge each other in city sectors. Cities could evolve, certain districts becoming safer or more notorious based on the player dominance. That's not just reboot potential, that's genre evolution, customization, the heartbeat of street culture. In fact, no Midnight Club discussion is complete without customization. That's the kind of depth fans have been asking for decades. Technology now enables what was impossible before, and fans aren't begging for nostalgia, they're demanding evolution. And that's a different conversation entirely. The world wants street racing that's personal, immersive, dynamic, player-driven of course. This franchise is history. It has identity, it has design DNA that no other racing series truly replicates. And if the rumors are real, if Midnight Club is truly in development, this is not just a sequel, it's a statement. Arcade racing still matters. Street racing still matters. Freedom and chaos make better games than grid structure. All things considered, we all know the city's coming back, and soon enough, it's gonna sound beautiful.